Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. It's week 19 of the Margaret Miller Collage Weekly Prompts. Here are the prompts, and this week I'm doing steampunk. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, you guys. I've never done steampunk. Not one time in my entire life have I picked this theme. And there's just nothing like the Collage Weekly Challenge. I mean, it's just the perfect time to try it. So I got a couple of digitals. I mean, all in the name of collage. And I'm just going to get going here. The first thing I'm going to do is grab some painted papers. So I'm going through these trying to figure out which one I want to use for my wings, because one of the prompts is to have some wings. And I had an intense migraine over the weekend for 2 days, and one of the nights I just chilled out. I did a voiceover and I painted papers. So I am going to put my little steampunk girl here. I'm also activating a Posca pen here. And I'm going to figure out, here you go, there's the details. I'm going to figure out kind of what size my wings need to be, essentially, was why I was lining her up on this. And then this angelfish Zentangle is one that I had practiced once, as you can see. And there is the CZT that designed it. But anyways, I really like it. It's similar to the one that I did for the mermaid tail a few weeks ago. And I just thought it would be great for wings. And I haven't practiced my Zentangle in a while. I mean, I am so a beginner, you guys. But that little book you see there is one that I use to practice my Zentangle in. So I'm just Zentangling with my Uniball on top of this painted paper. I just grabbed like 100 pages out of my Reader's Digest book. I grabbed some paints the other night, like acrylic paints and watercolor, and I just mindlessly played with paint, because for me, playing with paint since I was a little girl, it's the jackpot. It just relaxes me, and I get so much fulfillment from it. So that's how my painted papers came to be. If you guys ever want to have a session, in a live, or if you want a video on painted papers, just let me know down below. I've never taken a class. I really haven't explored it much, other than a sweet friend of mine sent me her painted papers one time, and they were so gorgeous. I was like, I want some. So I make them from time to time. All right, so now I'm just getting my Zentangle all wrapped up here, and I will end up fussy cutting this out, of course. And these are going to be the wings for my steampunk girl. So what led me to steampunk was the architecture, which is the first prompt in this week's list, was architecture. And for whatever reason, steampunk popped into my little brain. Probably something with wings did it as well. And then coin or currency, a bumpy surface, black and white, and squiggly lines, I think. So those are all the prompts this week, and it just felt like steampunk. I need to have another session where I sit down with these weekly prompts and find the connection. Every week I like to kind of find a connection and tell a story through my collage. And to me, this is collage. To others, they may think I'm cheating by like using printables or whatever. I mean, it is like something between collage and art journaling, mixed media at this point. But I'm finding my way, and I'm enjoying it. And even if it's not technically collage in some way, I don't really care. And there you have it. It's who I am. No, I just feel like in the name of art and in the name of my journey, it just doesn't matter. So this is another day where I didn't want to measure anything. So I just took out my Canson XL watercolor paper, lined it up with the spiral book page that, this goes into my collage book. And I just used a pencil, went around two edges, and that's how I picked the size or sketched out the size of my background. I'm bringing in some watercolors. These are from my friend Rhonda. She poured this whole palette for me, sent it to me, and I love it so much. Rhonda, I hope you're feeling better by now. It's been a rough couple of months. I'm thinking of you though. So, I am going to kind of just play around with a little bit of color, not too much today, honestly. I'm doing just a very basic background here. I did spritz my watercolor paper with water, so I'm doing wet on wet because I want the water, or I want the paint to just travel and do its own thing. I am kind of lining up the building there. And the other thing is that for the sky, I really like that muted color. It's almost to me like the color of fog. If fog had a color, when I get to the sky, it's what I imagine the color of fog to be. It's somewhere in between like the most pale blue-green, which is kind of funny because this morning it was really foggy. And when my daughter was super young, like 2, she used to say froggy, like, oh, it's such a froggy day outside. So to this day, we all say it. We're like, oh no, it's another froggy day, which means it's foggy. I love it. I hope it sticks forever in our brains. So yeah, I'm painting my froggy sky, which to me, fog and steampunk and, steam, fog, yeah, it goes. I hope you guys are doing great. This is coming out on a Wednesday, so happy Wednesday to you all. Little collage to get us over the hump every week. I can't believe it's already the 19th week of 2023. I can't be the only one. So I did take a little brown and splattered it in while the paper was still wet. I really like that to get kind of these spread out dots rather than really precise ones. And I wanted them to look rusty, like I wanted a foggy, rusty sky. And then now I'm just kind of arranging my elements, but there's a lot more fussy cutting in the near future for me because I look at this and I'm like, yep, I have to fussy cut this out, this building. So if you watched my video last week, you know that there was an itty bitty little triangle of paper that I didn't cut out, and it still bugs me to this day. I had someone comment and say, oh, sometimes I color those in. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. You can, depending on your background and your supplies, you can kind of color things in sometimes. And I was really tempted on that one. It just really makes me that crazy. But I'm just leaving it. It is a reminder that I don't regret fussy cutting once it's done, and that it's worth it, especially in things like this. I think would I want to fussy cut this building out multiple times? No, not necessarily, but for one collage it's totally worth it. So I sit there and I fussy cut all the little pieces, and that looks so much better. Plus I still have a lot of elements to add here. So black and white was another prompt, and I decided to do black lines, and then I decided to do white dots is kind of my interpretation this week. And behind that building, before I did fussy cut it out, it had a lot of wires and things like that, so I just did a bunch of my squiggly lines, which was also a prompt. I printed up this Roman coin, this ancient coin, and getting it fussy cut out. Now, I have the front and back of the coin here, and I did decide to go ahead and glue them together because initially I was really wanting the coin to be like removable from the collage, like tucked in somewhere. But by the time I got down to it, that's not what happened. But I'll just show you here. I did glue them together, then I did some distressing, and all of it was unnecessary, but why cut it out of the video? Just leave it in. It's already 18 minutes long. Why not? At least you see all of the work that goes into one of these. We have been fighting migraines and strep throat around here. I hope all of you guys are healthy. Okay, for bumpy, I think I said bumpy paper was the prompt. I definitely thought of just dry embossing some paper and adding it in. But then I was like, my watercolor paper still has a dampness to it. How do you know if it's damp? It's still cool to the touch. So I thought, let me just emboss it. So I have this stylus from the Dollar Tree. Yes, y'all, $1.25, and it works great. And it gave me the bumps. Look at that. Not the mumps, but the bumps. And I like it. Now, I will have to go back in later, which you'll see, and I'll have to add more bumps in places where you can actually see them. But it was fun putting them there and getting that part started. So now I'm re-envisioning my layout again. I'm liking it. I love that door or window. Steampunk. I'm going to keep revisiting this, I believe. It's not, I wouldn't call it my style, but it's a fun style to play with. And that there's something to that, right? Like, it doesn't have to be my style for me to have fun playing with it. So I did want to add just one more element of steampunkness to everything down in that bottom right corner. And I decided to use the coin almost as like a planet, or, kind of like the moon, but the moon's a planet, right? So like I wanted when the moon, so I wanted, just like another planet out in the sky behind that building is kind of what that coin is supposed to be. And down in the bottom right corner, you can tell I've got pieces where I want them, so I'm going to tack them down. But yeah, I added that gold piece down there to anchor everything and kind of clean up that bottom edge. I'm so glad I did. I really feel like that pulled things together. I also really love this rose piece with the cogs on it. Now, I did play around with where I might want to place that, and because I'd only fussy cut out one, I did put it back up at the top, but I would have loved it if I had one down at the bottom too, I think. So I think this is it. I'm finally satisfied. I'm going to commit to it and glue everything down. I definitely like this window, this kind of portal window lowered a bit. Someone else knows what that's actually called, and they're probably making fun of me right now, and that's okay. But to me, it's a portal window. All right, I get to glue down all the bits that I fussy cut out. All those bits. It was totally worth it. And now to place that exactly where I wanted it. I think it's pretty cool because I know like with that Roman coin there was definitely like spears involved, and like those kind of look like spears almost. I don't know. I like that. And I thought the little bench with the light was just, it had to come along in the collage. It just had to be there. I love it so much. So now, we pretty much got the collage built here, but there are some final touches. So I will finish gluing all of this down. And then even right up to the end, I'm going to kind of add a few details. I can't help myself. It's just the nature of the beast. I still have to bring in my white pen and add some details. That's, you know, for my black and white, it's basically like pen marks is what I chose. Initially, I was thinking of doing a black and white image of that coin, but I found like a natural colored image of it, you know, like what it looks like in its natural state, and I just liked that more. So I'm adding in more dots. If you're wondering what this is underneath my paper, it's a foam pad from Sizzix. I think it's called like Secret Stamping Weapon, or it's probably not a weapon. I don't know. Secret Stamping Platform or something. Oh, I'm so committed to brand names, aren't I? I never know what I'm using. But I really like it. Like, if you like stamping blocks and you like, you know, positioning your stamps on blocks, I would definitely put foam underneath them, whether you get that Sizzix pad or not. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. Well, I don't know if you can anymore, but used to you could get them at Hobby Lobby in different places. So here I am adding my white details. So now I have black and white details. I have squiggly lines. I have bumpy paper, something with wings, architecture. I have a coin. We've got it all, but just adding those last details. I did go back in. I tell you, this collage just kept like having other details added, but I went back and knocked out with ink blending a little bit of those white lines on her shoulders there. So Sparkle Heart has strep throat, and I had to take her to the doctor. And I heard the doctor joking with the nurses, and she and I were just like, I had been fighting a migraine for 2 days. We were just done. We wanted to get to see the doctor, and we wanted to leave as soon as possible. And we hear him joking, and they're joking about shoulder pads. He comes in the room, he's like, he could tell, he read the room, was like, uh-oh, these people really want to go, you know? He's like, sorry, we were joking about this. My nurses are making fun of me because I have a picture with a suit, and they said I have shoulder pads on, but I don't. And all I could think was Michael Scott's power suit. But I didn't feel like joking with him, so I just left it alone. Anyways, now I laugh because she has shoulder pads, maybe, or that's her power suit. All right, I did add this one last strip over here, and I do like it. I think it just anchors everything even better. I'm finished with my collage, you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Give this challenge a go. You're never too far behind. Rhonda, you think you're behind. You're not behind. Just pick up wherever you are and have fun. Pick any week you want. I always leave the information for it down in the description box. And I will see you guys next time in another video. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all your support. Bye.